So I have a very complicated thing that I need to explain to everybody right now. So just follow along, okay? So everybody knows how mediums and spirits and we can see certain things like that, right? But when you go to the eye doctor, you talk to the eye doctor and you're like, hey man, I see colors, I see this, that, and the other, and they cannot give you a scientific reason as to why that you're seeing these things. They're saying that it's just an anomaly, right? I've gone to the doctor for this before because I wanted to make sure I wasn't going nuts, okay? So I've recently embarked on this journey about learning about the telepathy tapes. Basically, it's this documentary type of thing where nonverbal autistic children are able to communicate telepathically. And the only reason they found that out is because they created a system where they use this letterboard and they point and spell things, and you realize that they're in there just as aware as we are. Their brain is functioning differently. Well, because they're nonverbal, their brain had to reroute pathways in a different way, so they're hella telepathic. And we're talking not little telepathic. We're talking homeboy can sit there and do a four number multiplication times a four number multiplication behind his back without seeing it connected. Well, there's this program called Seeing Without Eyes, and there's this lady named Dalia Burgoyne. You can look her up. She did the Olympics, the Psychic Olympics, right? Where she was able to close her eyes and train herself to be able to see without her eyes, right? I'm getting to a point. There is hella videos about it. I should make my next video a little clip of how awesome it is. Basically what she explains, or what the people that have learned this explain, is that your brain is what actually sees the energies, right? And your eyes are just basically cameras. They're just cameras. So when you starve your ocular vision, oh, what the hell was that? Anyways, when you starve your vision, you're able to open up other parts of your brain in order to see these things, right? So there's a whole group of people that are learning how to do this by creating what are called windows by wearing these visions. And I sat there and I was like, wait a second. Here's the point. There's only so much frequency that we can visually see with our eyes, right? There's like a radar where we only see just a little tiny pinpoint of what's actually out there, because everything is vibration, right? So we can only see so many colors and everything like that, right? So that being said, that's just scientifically. What if, and this is the science behind everything that I'm trying to come up with, what if the reason that psychics can see spirits and energies and colors, and it's overlapped on their, that scares the shit out of me. I don't want to do that again. It's overlapped on their vision. Had to catch myself there for a sec. So basically what it is that in a way, mediums and psychics have opened up a specific part of their brain, their third eye, their pineal gland, in order for their brain to see other things outside of what they can just vision, ocularly see. I'm not sure if that's the term, but what you can see. So that being said, that superimposes itself onto other people, but they don't understand, okay, how come, you can see this and I can see that and everything like that. It's because the way that our brain interprets things is completely different. And it is said, in quantum physics, that you can see the color, let's say here, see blue. You can see the color blue, right? But what your blue looks like may not be what my blue looks like, because we see things differently. But there's no way to prove that, because it's how our brains interpret light. So what I'm thinking is that our brains are just open, which I kind of know this stuff to say. Our brains are open literally more in a certain way. But that being said, you can train yourself to open your brain in order to see these things spiritually. And that's why some people can see spirits and they can see auras and things of that sort physically, not just in the mind's eye. Some people can see things in the mind's eye. That's a great way to do it. That's actually the first step that you use in order to see things without your eyes, like the vision without eyes. But when it's superimposed onto your vision, it's because both of your brain and your eyes are firing at the same time. So It was like an aha moment. I was like, oh my gosh, this is why I've been able to see things my whole life. Because as somebody who experiences these things and you kind of get used to them for a while, it still is unnerving when a lot of people don't have the same experience, or a lot of... I have a little kid that wants me to read, so hold on. I have no idea where I left off of. I ended up going to read a book. But basically, what it's basically saying is that we see things differently, so you can train yourself. And it's always been something that has been on my mind, because I don't have a lot of people who experience it. A lot of times people who are working in the spiritual psychic field, a lot of them are working in their ego. And no shame in that. Everybody's in their own process, but I haven't seen a lot of people that actually function psychically like I do. So I was trying to find a way, and I really think we found a way, and we're onto something with these telepathy tapes. I think this is going to open door to a lot of different things, especially people like... So there's natural born mediums, like people that are born with the ability to see, right? That's just because my brain was open in a certain way. A lot of it has to do and ties to neurodivergence, which is the same thing with the kids with the telepathy tapes. So if you're neurodivergent, ADHD, odd ADHD, I don't know how to say it, autism, all of that, there's a lot of different neurodivergence. I think our brains work differently. So we're open at certain points. You okay? We're open to see things a little bit more. And then even if you're not, some people experience it too. It's just the way that your brain is open. But that being said, it's very fascinating, because it's like, wow. So you're basically training your brain, your muscle, in order to open up. So even if you're a natural born medium, that's great. Wonderful. I was born natural born. My brain was already open up, but you can train yourself to open it up. So a lot of the times, the way that I receive visions from spirit guides or spirits or anything like that, so it's like a daydream thing. The reason that they try to trade us, like, don't use your imagination, because that's really how you receive spirit messages. And a lot of the time people write it off as like, oh, that was just my imagination, right? So it's sometimes where you'll be sitting there and you'll see a flash of something. So like, imagine you're inside of your vehicle right now. While I'm talking to you, you know what it looks like. You know what the interior looks like. If you have anything hanging down from like the windshield, anything like that, or like the little window thing. Anyways, you know what it looks like, right? That is how you will receive and view a message from spirit. So you could be sitting there and all of a sudden kind of trance out and go into a daydream, and just like still be here, but like kind of off into your brain, which I do all the time. And you'll be able to see certain things. And now the thing is you have to learn from what's coming from you and what's coming from spirit. So sometimes it'd be like, oh, I want to daydream I'm on an island, Tahiti. Baby, that's probably coming from you, which is okay. Imagine what you need to imagine, create it. Whatever you bring out into the universe comes back into you. But when it comes from spirit messages, if all of a sudden you're sitting there and all of a sudden you see this random man that you ain't never seen before, and he's sitting here on his white rocking chair smoking a cigar in this flannel, in a flannel in a house with brown walls and stuff like that, and you ain't never seen it before, 9 times out of 10, that's a spirit coming through trying to talk to you, right? And they give you flashes like that. Or let's say you're needing a message from, like, you see somebody saying something, or you feel an energy or something like that. A lot of times that's psychic vision, and that's how that works. But a lot of people don't know that it's very easy to do that. And a lot of times people have psychic ability, and they're doing it like every day, and they think everybody experiences this. But baby, that's not everybody experiences that. Now, it's a muscle, like I said, so you can work on opening yourself and being able to receive messages that way. So the more and more you visualize, the easier it is. So the easier you can create like a stronger vision in your mind is, I want you to... you can do it with your eyes open or closed. Just imagine a candle every day. Imagine what the flame looks like and really strengthen the look of that candle. And every single time you go in with more and more details, you'll be able to see that your psychic sight in that way, even in your mind's eye, is a little different. So that's kind of a little bit about psychic mediumship. I've been doing a little bit of extra things here. If you guys are interested in learning about psychic mediumship, I have a course about it. If not, this is a great tidbit for y'all to learn, and I hope I gave you some clarity. And let me know your opinions on this, because I have just been like, oh, that's what it is. Everybody have a good holiday. We'll talk soon.